Welcome back. Today we're going to be expanding on the topic on how to export. We're going to be exporting a blueprint this time. This blueprint is going to be made up of multiple static meshes. Therefore, we're going to be looking at multiple ways on how to export. We're going to look at how to export each individual mesh, how to export in bulk, and how to merge the blueprint into one single asset so that we can export the mesh as one single FBX. Let's get started. All right, let's get started with this blueprint. I'm going to select it on the map. Then I'm going to press Ctrl E on the keyboard, and that will open the blueprint editor. I'm going to navigate to Viewport, and in Viewport, we can see the different static meshes that make up this blueprint. If I select any of these assets and I press Ctrl B on the keyboard, it would only take us to the location of where the blueprint is located, not where the asset is located. For us to find the location of the asset, we need to select the asset that we would like to use, and then go here to the right and click on the little folder icon that we see here. That will take us to the location of the asset. We can go ahead and export it like a normal static mesh by going to Asset Actions and then going to Export. Now we're going to cover how to export all of these assets in one single batch action. We need to find the location of the blueprint first, so I'm going to select any of these assets. Having it selected, I'm going to press Ctrl B as in boy on the keyboard, and it will take us to the location of the blueprint. I'm going to right-click it. Then I'm going to navigate to Reference Viewer. In Reference Viewer, we will see all of the assets that make up this blueprint right here. By selecting all of them, I can press again Ctrl B as in boy, and it will take me to the folder location where all the static meshes live for this asset. I'm going to right click it. Then I'm going to go to Asset Actions. In Asset Actions, I'm going to select Bulk Export. That will take me to the folder location where I would like to store it. Then I'm going to click on Select Folder. I'm not going to select any of this because this will be extra information that I do not want on my FBX. However, if you do want that extra information, you can go ahead and select it from there. I'm going to press on Export All. Once that's done, let's go and navigate to the folder. As you can see, it created a folder named Game. Inside of it, there's going to be Environment, Meshes, Buildings, and that's where it's going to put all of the assets right in there. Now we'll cover how to combine this blueprint into one single mesh. So that way it preserves the location of each of the static meshes that make up this blueprint. So I'm going to select any of these assets. I'm going to press Ctrl B on the keyboard. It's going to take me right here. And then I'm going to go to Tools. In Tools, I'm going to select Merge Actors. I don't want the box component. I just want the static meshes. In this case, it's pretty easy to know which ones are the static meshes because they have SM in the front of the name. So I'm just going to deselect this and then Merge Actors. I'm then going to select the folder where I would like to store it. So I'm going to select Environment, Meshes, Building, and then I'm also going to change the name of the asset. So I would like it to be a second version of the Town Hall. So Town Hall and then underscore 02. I'm going to click on Save, and it will automatically take me to the location of the asset. Right now, we can go ahead and right-click it, Asset Action, Export, and then we can just export the single FBX. One thing to keep in mind is that all of these assets have their own material and their own textures. So to make life easier for you, what we're going to do is navigate back to the reference viewer of our blueprint, and then we're going to click right here where it says Search Dependencies Depth and set it to 3. What we're going to find is that the asset now has the material attached to it, and we also have the textures right here. So we can go ahead and select all of the textures and press Ctrl B as in boy on the keyboard, and we'll select all of the textures that are attached to this. Now, this is very important. Keep in mind how many of the textures you're selecting, because it could come to pass that once you do export these textures, you're going to see that you're missing a few. The reason why they're missing is because it might not navigate you to the folder where all of the textures are. This is due to maybe some of these textures being in a separate folder where all of these are. In this case, all of the textures for all the buildings are in one folder. So that's why we have them all here. Having said that, let's go ahead and export all of these textures. I'm just going to right click them, go to Asset Actions, and then go to Bulk Export. Select the folder, and now if we navigate to the folder, we can see that in Materials, we're going to have a texture folder that is going to contain every single texture that we just selected. And it's that simple, guys. Now you know how to export an asset from a blueprint. You know how to export multiple assets from that one blueprint using a batch export. And you also learned how to combine multiple assets that make up one blueprint into one single mesh. So that way we can export it as one single FBX. Not only that, we also went over how to export the textures that correspond to those assets.